So I thought we'd do something fun today that's a little bit more complicated than what we've been doing so far. So today I'll take you through making a copy of your level, connecting them, and then we'll go into at least the easiest way that I have found to add your item descriptions. Like if you interact with an item, you can get some text from your character or the item that shows up on the screen. I'll show you how I at least made a functioning workflow to do that relatively quickly. So let's see. Let's first open our level. As you may notice, we have a project and we have a level. And this is the level we've made, and it's the level with the soup and everything. So we will place some new items into this level, and then we will make a new level. So in our level, we currently have Mintara, we have Daleria over here, and we have some niches, and we have some vases. And if we click on these vases, you see an empty inventory, like the majority of vases in the game. So I want these vases to be talking vases. We should probably change the lighting a little bit to see them clearly, or maybe we just move them. And then we will add the dialogue to them. So let's see. Let me show you how I'd move them. You could either delete them and put them back in the level, or you can just do like so. You can place them. Whoop. So this is fairly easy, right? So what I did was I selected this little tool over here to move the item. You can also rotate them. And this one, the button number 4 here, will actually let you resize them. So I can make a super big one, go back to moving them, and I think that 3 will probably be enough. So let's have a look at the really big one, and we move it a little bit. Right. So what happens now? Some of these are floating, so let's try and play. Yep, they fall down because they they cannot levitate. Now another little trick. So my preview always ends up in a strange place, but like when it comes to moving items, we have now selected the item, right, and we can move it back and forth. And what you'll notice on the bottom of the screen is that the positions are written there, right? So if you want to move this item, for example, up in the Y plane, you can put 3. Yep. 5. So if you have a specific position in your level where you want to put something, you can just like write it in here. And of course, the nice thing here is now if we play, it will fall back down. It took some damage, but it's okay. Alright, so what I want to happen is that when I click on a vase, it will say something. I want to do it for all 3 items. So how do we do that? I covered it in another video, but basically you have to make sure that all of them, upon use, will send a use event to Osiris. So instead of opening and closing, we actually wanted to send an event to Osiris. So you can put the story use, send use event to Osiris. That should be okay. Do it for all of them. Now, if you are tired of scrolling through this sidebar, you can actually search up here. So, for example, this would be the action, right? Oop. Action. Yeah, so use action. So everything that has to do with actions will now show up. You see there are a lot of different things you can put here. But in this case, we want the story use, and we can remove the open close. Sends use event. And now when we click the other one, you see that the what we put in the search bar here still holds for this other item, which can be very useful if you're going through a lot of items and are really tired of scrolling. Okay, so we've done part 1. And the order in which you do this doesn't really matter. But now, when clicking on these items, they will send the use event to Osiris, which is our story editor, right? So I click on them. Sorry for walking into the wall there. So I click on them, nothing happens. This is because we haven't told the toolkit that anything is going to happen. And in order to do that, we need to make some dialog files, and we need to make a script that attaches that dialog to us using the vase. All right, so let's make a dialog file. It's good to see here. Now it's a bit annoying that we get the action thing, right? So we can remove it. Now we get everything. We want the GUID of the vase. That's the name of it in this level. And we want to make a dialog. I've made a greeting node saying, hi, I'm a small vase. That's what the vase is going to say. So we will add the vase as a speaker. I just pasted now this GUID, right? And then the vase will pop up. We add it. And we will add ourselves, because we are part of this conversation and we are the players. All right, and we will save it. So I will call it level 7, 1, vase 0, 0, 0, because that's the name of this item. As you can see up here, that can be a useful way to organize it. And level 7, 1, because we will now later in the video make a level 7, 2. Should maybe not have called this project level 7, but all right. So as you can see, it's now said the dialog is saved with an invalid structure. So this greeting node, if it's just one node, it needs to be an end node. And one thing we can also do is to set this as something the narrator says. Unless you really want the talking vase, then perhaps it would be better to have this something the narrator says. And if you don't want an actual cinematic for this, but you're talking to the vase and you just want it to pop up in the world, you put automated. And it can be useful, at least to avoid error messages, to just generate a timeline. All right, so now I will do this 3 more times and we'll write the script. So one thing I did want to show you is that while we're generating all of these very similar dialogues, I've made the dialogue number 2 now. It's about another small vase. If you now copy these nodes, you can just select Control C, right, to copy. And then you have a new dialogue for the third vase, and you just paste these nodes. You see that everything can be easily pasted. Anything you've done with flags here, like flags to set or whatever, will also be copied, which is very useful if you want someone to make a specific check or something. If a flag is active, then you know something about these vases. And when we go into the speakers, yeah, okay, it didn't happen this time, but I've also experienced that this speaker structure is intact. You just have to replace the item. But we can do that anyways. So this is, let's see if we remember, it's the vase that ends with 001. That wasn't so easy. Let's see. What is it called? Is it called vase? Yeah. Oh yeah, ends with 001. So yeah, we will add that and we will add ourselves as a speaker. And then since this is the third one, then we can just edit it as we like. So I have made 3 conversations, and it's these ones, right? We have the vase 000, 001, and 002. And these are all the conversations in our level. Now we are going to write the script to attach these conversations to the interaction with the vase. So I want to make the Osiris scripts, and I've done so before because I showed you in a different video, right? So let's see if we can do this a little bit quickly. So we will be using the script if UseStarted, and then player and the item. Then we will use this item with dialog that involves the player and the item and the dialog resource. And we have all of this information. We just have to put it in here, right? So this is a nice place to start. Let's just see. Let's see. This would be the 0, 0, 0, right? It will be called that. And I think you will easily see why I'm doing this very soon. The dialog resource, don't quite remember, but we are ready to open up Osiris and start making the script. So when we're opening the story editor, we will first just generate definitions. We will first generate definitions, build and reload. That is quite useful when you have changed something in your level. Okay, so now we are ready. We have already made a little draft of what our code is going to look like, and we will make a new script, and we will call it level 7, perhaps 1 for level 7. Level 7, and this is level 1 in the level 7 project. And we will call it items, or item dialogs. Yeah, the code editor is open, and then we made a little template, right? We put it in here, and maybe we know we have 3 vases. Maybe we just do like so. So we have 3 copies of it, right? Maybe we can do all of this as once. So it's the vase 0, 0, 0. Cool. I did now use Control plus space to fill it in. Just make sure it looks like the right item, and it does. Fill it in, yeah. And then the dialog should be vase 0, 0, 0, right? Cool, we have one of them. So I changed my mind. Let's make it even easier for ourselves. This is now our little template. You could also just write this in the story editor. I just quite like Notepad. So we know the other vase is called 001. Can we find it? Yeah, we can. And you can, for example, since we need the item here as well, just copy it. Just do Control and space to see that we got all of the text. And the dialog will then be 1, vase 001. Cool. All right, let's do this once more. And that would be the vase 002, right? Cool. 002. That would be the vase, not the soup bowl. And the dialog would then be vase 002. So if everything has gone right now, we can try to build, we have now added 3 dialogues to use with items at the same time. And it says, as you can see, build success. So we will once again generate definitions, build and reload. And we should be ready to chat with our vases. Yeah, build success. Okay, so let's talk to the vases. The first one says, hi, I'm a small vase. Second one says, it's a small vase. I am not smaller than that other vase. I'm actually bigger on the inside. All right. What does the big one say? Aha. So we forgot to click automated on this dialog, and we'll fix that. Or maybe just leave it like that. So you'll be sufficiently impressed by the very big vase that says, I am the greatest vase of all. Cool. All right. So we have now made a dialogue with 3 items. It can be very useful because you can use it for plaques or signs or whatever you like. You have seen how it could either be automated, it just appears over the item or over your character. And you have also seen how you can make an interaction with cinematics with the vase. And we have a timeline, so you could of course make your character be very surprised to see this vase. Now, the next thing I thought I wanted to do was actually copy this level and show you how I would try to easily put these interactions back in. So first of all, how do we make a new level that's the exact copy of this one? Go for new level, and you can select copy. You will copy from the first one, and we will have to stick with our decision to name the project level 7. We can call it level 7, level 2. And we will create it. We are now in level 7, level 2. As you can see,
time to press ahead.
It is exactly the same as the other level. There are some changes. You can get some problems when copying a level. For example, you can see here that Deluria is now stuck inside of this building. I feel like we should move her. Deluria apparently has the ability to float, so because it is quite disturbing to look at, I will move her back down. We can use her as a marker for which level we're in, so I can put her on the floor. There she is. Cool. So what happens now if you try to interact with these vases? Nothing, right? You can still talk with Deluria. But we can't talk to the vases. So what I've noticed is that when you copy a level, these item descriptions and are not copied over. And why is that? Well, it's because of the code, right? In Deluria's case, when we click on her, her sidebar settings are copied. And that means that it's calling on this dialogue we put in the previous video on flirting with Deluria, where it says level 7 doll flirt. So this automatically calls on this dialogue, which is why it works to just copy her. For these vases, they're not supposed to be able to talk, I think. So there are no settings that are copied for their ability to speak. So as far as I understand, we have to redo the entire thing. But there is a quite effective way of doing that, and that's what I wanted to show you in the part 2 of this video. So let's see. So what we will do is try to be quite effective about this. We go into our dialogs. We have the 3 vase dialogs. Let's just copy them. And we will spend a hot minute just changing their names. So we call them level 7, which is the project, and level 2, because we will use this in level 2. So we just change the names. You could probably make a script to do this sort of thing a lot more quickly. I am not able to do that. But now we have 3 new dialog files for level 2, right? So let's just check these dialogues. So this is for level 1. We will now open the dialog file we have just created for level 2. Let's start with 000. Hi, I'm a small vase. What you will immediately notice is that now this speaker is empty, right? Because the level was copied, but the GUID for this one is different from the one on level 1. So we just easily put the vase on this level back in. So I remember it's called 000, and I just searched for that. I know it's a vase, so it's probably this one. Very important, remove this blank space that shows up. If not, it's not going to work. All right. We have now fixed the first one, and I will do it for the 2 others. Now we have 3 new dialogues, and we have set the right speaker, which would be the vase on this level. And now let's go into the story editor. So the story editor was already open, and this is the script we used in level 1. I will just copy it. And now what's important is to actually do the generate definitions build and reload thing, because at this moment, the toolkit is probably not aware of what we've done, the new things that have happened. So let's just do that. and we can replicate this very easily. I have a project with many levels where I'm doing the same thing. So I like just having the blueprint in Notepad, so I won't have to like redo this every time. And I'm sure there are many approaches to this, but I find it very satisfying to just be able to plop this into the story editor very quickly. All of the names of the items are the same. What comes after is not the same. And one more thing has changed. The dialog has a different number because it's a different level. So let's just change this. And I prefer making a new file in the story editor, but that's mostly just because that's easier for me to keep track of. So the project is called level 7. This will be the level 2 of level 7, and it will be item dialogs. So we'll call it exactly the same thing, just a different level. All right, then we have it. Script for chatting with vases on level 2. I just pasted this little blueprint, and I will do control space, control space, control space, control space, control space. Control space, control space, control space, control space. And yeah, it doesn't like this part. Control space like that, control space. Yeah, okay, so we just have to make sure that we get the right dialogue, right? Yeah, all right. So now when you're confident in this, you can just build it. You know this should work, right? Build success, okay. Let's try to play it. Yep, it works. Yep, it works. Yep, it works. Right? So what we have done now is create these interactions for 3 vases on one level, duplicating them on a different level. You can of course change these dialogues in level 2, but now at least we have the same thing going on in both levels. The final thing I will do is to create a teleport from level 1 to level 2, because right now we have no way of accessing the different levels. So assuming we start on level 1, you can of course also start on level 2 if you'd like. Let's load up level 1. So that's just this first one. We will add a teleport script. Okay, a few funny things have happened here now that we went back.
Breathe deep and move.
It seems that Deluria will forever be sitting inside the wall. And it seems that the vase actually begins its life far up at the place where we decided it would spawn. But that's fine. So how do we want to teleport to level 2? Perhaps we will use this door. Right now, if we open this door, nothing happens. But could we, if opening this door, be transported to level 2? Let's see. We are now in level 1, and if your sidebar goes all white here, just click on it. We want this iron gate. I will move this for you. We want it to send the use event to Osiris, right, when we click on it. So this is the only thing the door will do now, send the use event to Osiris. If you then try to play the game, you can notice that we can no longer open it. We can just interact with it. And let's make a script for this door to teleport us to level 2. I will copy the name of this door. I will keep it in Notepad, because that's my preferred way of doing it. And we have a little script here that has, I'll show you actually, that if use is finished, that is using the door, the player, and then the door. So I just copied that, right? And then if the use of that door is finished, the party will be teleported to level with movie, and There is no movie. Maybe you can insert a movie. I don't know, but it doesn't really matter. We have to put the name of level 2, right? So let's have a look. What did we call it? If you just click on load level, you can see level 7, level 2. All right. Let's put that in there. Level 7, level 2. All right. Let's see if we can make this script. We make a new script. We call it level 7. That's the project name. 1 teleporter. Okay. If you just want to write a description or inactivate a piece of code, you can just put these two dashes. This is the teleporter to level 2. Okay, and if the use is finished, then the player will be teleported after interacting with this door. So I did Control plus space to fill it in. And this is just the name of the level. So let's see if this can be built. Yeah, it says build success. All right. So let's see if it works.
Who are you?
We've put the character creation to start on level 1. We are venturing forth.
On my way.
Daliria is still in the wall. The iron gate can be interacted with. What happens if we click it? We are teleported to level 2. Where if we play, the vase will fall down
Step forward.
and we don't have to create a character, but we spawn in the starting position. And here we are. And if we interact with the door here on level 2, it is just a normal door. And our player can keep walking into the distance forever. So once again, if any of you guys watching this have any requests or things you want solved, I have a lot of ideas for videos. I just don't have a lot of time to make them. But feel free to reach out either in comments or on Discord, and I will try to make new videos if I can answer your question.